Yes, okay, I hear you. I can understand why you would be thinking, okay, Bongo has now finally gone completely crazy. What is he doing here? Well, don't worry, let yourself be surprised. And with that, hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Review, where we will take a closer look at new GSE from Rambo Wings. Specifically, we will look at Luggage Set 1 in yellow, Luggage Set 2 in white, and Cargo Set 1 in yellow. So, this is how it arrived. I mean, obviously it did come in a little parcel, but basically this is how it arrived. So obviously not much to say about the packaging other than it of course arrived super secure and safe. So let's see what it can do. So here we have the 3 different sets from Rambo Wings, and you might say, hold on, this looks different than on his website, and indeed, because this is the new and updated design from Rambo Wings. We start off with the Luggage Set 1, which I chose in yellow. It is available in other colors too, but more on that a little bit later in the video. Now, the Luggage Set 1 comes with these baggage belt loaders, I guess they would be called, and you have these 2 small vehicles and then a bunch of trailers. Now what we have here is now an update in design, because in previous versions from Rambo Wings these trailers had only fences in the front and in the back. Now we also have it in the side, but we have 2 versions of them, one where it's fenced up on both sides and one where the fence is put down on one side. So that's really lovely because it gives more variety when we set this up next to our aircraft models. The set with the baggage belt loaders is of course ideal for narrow-body aircraft, I would say especially for the 737, but it does also work perfectly fine with A320s, CRJs, ERJs, whatever small single-island regional aircraft you might have. Now, these new trailers are, of course, painted in a metallic look, and this is something where I'm always a little bit hesitant, because these kind of metallic paints often become a bit grainy, which I rarely like on my aircraft models, but these trailers are, of course, quite a bit smaller than aircraft, so yes, they are a little bit grainy, but you have to get super close to really see it. So I don't think it is really a factor in this case. And because you have this shiny metallic look, it does give a quite nice look when you have it in your setup, when the light shines on it. I quite like it, but of course this is a question of personal taste. In the past, Rambo Wings has made them in a more matte, lighter and darker grey tone, depending on what set you ordered. But for me personally, as I say, it kind of works with this metallic look. You could, of course, if you had an airbrush, maybe add a little bit of weathering to them as well. Endless possibilities here, but I do quite like the base design here from Rambo Wings. Now with the Luggage Set 2, we do not have any form of loaders. We only get these 2 trucks and then a whole bunch of trailers. So this is really if you want to fill up your setup, if you're done with all the loaders around the aircraft models but just need more in terms of mass around the aircraft model, this is the perfect set for you because you get really a whole lot of these trailers. Again, just like last time, they are painted in this grey metallic look, and you again have them fenced up on the sides and somewhere one side is fenced down. So really again gives you a bit of flexibility in how you set this up. Now, one thing I have to mention here is of course that unlike the designs from Rambo Wings where you have small hooks, so you can actually create a hooked up line of trailers and trucks, here you do not have that. So you are just physically placing them right next to each other. Can be a little bit fiddly, but of course anyone with a steady hand or a pincette or something like that can easily put them up. It's just something you should know. They are not hooked up like with Herpa. Here you just place them next to each other. Now this set is of course also available in different colors, but as mentioned before, this is something I will talk more about later in the video. Now as to where you would see these kind of vehicles in your airport, well, I mean obviously they can appear anywhere in an airport setup, but of course I would personally probably use them more around narrow bodies and regional aircraft, a little less around wide bodies, but they can really be used pretty much anywhere in an airport setup. So an ideal setup to really just fill up your scenery. And then we can also take a closer look at the cargo set 1 in yellow. Again, this set is also available in various colors. Again, something I will talk more about later in the video. Now, here you of course get these two kind of smaller trucks that, as far as I know, kind of pick up the cargo containers from the trailers and then bring them to this one larger loader, which is then driving right up to the aircraft and loading it into the cargo hold. This does then of course also mean that you also get two smaller trucks with the trailers, and on these trailers you can then place the different types of cargo containers that this set has included. So yes, these cargo containers are not fixed on the trailers. You actually place them on top, or you place them, for example, on the cargo loaders. That gives you a whole lot of flexibility in how you want to display the loading scene when you are placing this around the aircraft. Really, really lovely. So that's of course, apart from the detailing, a major difference to an equivalent set from Rambo Wings. Of course, also here, again, these kind of trailers and trucks are not hooked up, so you simply physically place them next to each other. But I think you get so much more flexibility with this set, so despite it not having these hooks, just the fact that you don't have the cargo containers fixed on the trailers, but you can actually place them elsewhere or in different combinations, I think is a lovely piece of, ingenuity, I guess we could call it, from Rambo Wings. It just makes it more flexible, gives you a lot of options when, placing this in your airport setup. So there we have it, the luggage set 1 in yellow, luggage set 2 in white, and cargo set 1 in yellow in scale 1 to 500 from Rambo Wings. And what can we say about this awesome GSE from Rambo Wings? Well, yes, it's awesome in my opinion. Of course, there are a few things here and there that I also want to comment on. So as I mentioned, these sets do come in different colors. As far as I can see from the website, you can get them in white, yellow, or red. This does also slightly change some of the other elements, like the colors of the trailers or the belts and stuff like that. But the website currently does not kind of show these new sets, so I can't actually tell you how exactly these sets would look like in different colors. Just if you are interested, write to him. This is not sponsored, by the way. I've paid these sets myself. I haven't even told him that I will be reviewing it, so he doesn't know anything about it. But just write to him if you're interested in the sets, and I'm sure he will provide you with up-to-date images of what you are purchasing. But what I want to say about the coloring is, of course, that if you maybe are not happy with it, for example, the cargo containers are also in this gray metallic look, maybe you want to have some more variety in them. I could understand that they perhaps not all have the same color. You can get all these sets not colored, so you have the opportunity to color them yourselves. Now, personally, I don't think it is really worth it when it comes down to the money. There's a few euros difference in price. I think for the hassle of having to paint it all yourself, just pay the few extra euros and get them painted. But of course, if you want to have more variety in the coloring of these sets, then it might perhaps be the better option to get them unpainted and then paint them completely yourself. Of course, you could also get them painted and then just use, an airbrush and give it a bit of weathering or change some of the parts' colors. But again, there's loads of variety here. You have the option of getting them pre-painted or unpainted, really depending on what you prefer. But since we are talking price, the luggage set 1 in yellow, and in fact in all available colors, would cost you 14 euros. Luggage set 2, again in all variations, would cost you 15 euros. And the cargo set 1 is set at 16 euros. That is the full colored version. If you want to get the sets without any colors, then the luggage set 1 unpainted would cost you 9 euros, just like luggage set 2. And the cargo set 1 unpainted would cost you 11 euros. So sure, there is a difference, but I don't think it is that much considering how much time and work it would be for you to paint it all yourself. But again, you have the options. And if we consider the price of the fully painted versions, which is then hovering around 14 to 16 euros, well, that's at least 25, maybe even 50% cheaper than equivalent versions from Rambo Wings, if you can even get them, because they most of the time are out of stock. But before this turns into an infotainment video, and again I have to stress out, this is completely unsponsored, but I do think that these sets are a great addition to anyone's airport setup and at a very reasonable price. Now, I have referred to the Rambo Wings website, and that is because, as far as I can see, he technically does still have an eBay account from where he used to sell all this stuff, but it does look like he's not selling through eBay anymore, but only through his website. So yeah, if you need anything there, just go to the website of Rambo Wings, Google it, and then just write him an email if you want to place an order. And I mean, there are loads of other awesome products there as well, not just this kind of GSE, many other types of GSE and equipment that you can place around an airport setup. There's lots of things to be discovered there. So now there's not much else to do other than to wait and see what Rambo Wings come up with their re-release of some GSE set that they have announced for November, December this year. It's apparently a re-release of at least 10-year-old GSE set, so let's see what that will be. And of course, we are also eagerly waiting for the new 3D printed GSE from A4 Airport. I personally can't wait to see what they have come up with that. But there are lots of options out there. That is the good news. And with that, we have then also reached the end of today's video. If you have enjoyed this video, then feel free to leave a like. That would be very much appreciated. If you are new around here, why not hit subscribe? That would be absolutely awesome. And with that, thanks so much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.